I would say the latest and greatest event that's happening that God is working on right now is that we are next month getting ready to start fertility treatments, which is amazing because, 7 months ago we were told that, it was very unlikely that we would get to have children. So, a lot's changed in the last 7 months, and we're really excited that God is giving us an opportunity to have children.
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey, I think. We, just started about a year ago. We decided that we wanted to start having kids, and we ended up going to the doctor, and we found out that there were some medical issues, and so they ran some tests, and the news we got back, was bad, that we weren't going to be able to have kids. They didn't think that Tara could carry a baby to full term, and so we prayed about it with the church prayed about it a lot, and after that, one of the things we prayed for was wisdom for the doctors, and the doctor that we were going to decided that she wanted to do one more test, just to make sure that they were seeing the right things and everything, and so they ran one more test, and it ended up that the results from the first test were completely different from the results from the second one, and so all the issues that were there were all fixable with a simple procedure, whereas before they told us that there was just kind of no way, and so that just kind of got the ball rolling on everything, and there's been some other struggles, I guess, along the way, but just everything has continued to work out in good times.
Well, for me, I'd heard stories before of miracles and of people being healed, but it's really hard to believe, not necessarily believe, but actually to be affected by it. I feel like sometimes, because you just hear it and sometimes you just kind of let it go or brush it off, but when it's actually you and it completely changes your life, then you realize how important and amazing the things that God can do really are, and just how wonderful He is.
Yeah, I think pretty much the same for me. I definitely grew up in church, and so I saw a lot of things, and traveling with my dad, and just seeing a lot of different miracles, and people getting healed from things I've seen before, but it's still completely different when it happens in your own life, and you get to experience that joy firsthand, and it's just a constant reminder, I think, that no matter how tough things get, that God's faithful, and that He's gonna do what He said He's gonna do. So.
I think what's happening in my life, our life right now, that is needing definitely a good measure of faith, is that, like you said, this has been a journey, and we've gotten, a lot of bad news, and, good news and bad news, and just recently we got a little bit more bad news that things would be a little bit more complicated trying to get pregnant, which at that time completely tore me apart. It could have definitely ruined me from then, like I was so messed up, and that's when I realized that, like, all the medical people I was trying to depend on to give me good answers, or even just, through Joel giving me, support, that I couldn't necessarily find the support I needed there, that God was the one who, has the answers and has the plan, and my faith in Him is the only thing that's going to get me through what we're going through now.
Yeah, we definitely still have to have faith, and it's important to remember also that the things that have already happened, all of the prayers that have already been answered through this whole process, just in the short, year that it's been. It's easy to get bad news and just completely forget about all the cool stuff that's already happened, and just we focus on the negative stuff that we just heard, and we let it beat us down, and it's definitely even though we experience all these cool things, and we experience God answering our prayers, we still have to keep our faith strong, and it still takes a good amount of faith to believe that even though we've had more bad news, that we've had bad news before, and it's always turned out okay. It's always turned out just fine, and we've come away with a cool story to tell. So I think that right now the same situation is requiring faith, but we're definitely trying to hold fast to the things that have already happened to us, and use that to keep faith strong when we're feeling kind of weak. For me, God has just been a constant source of hope, I guess, and the only constant thing in my life, I think, that I can really depend on. There's people are always going to let us down. Our situations are always going to let us down. We let ourselves down, but God never lets us down, even though we feel like at some points that He's maybe not listening, or we can't understand why we're experiencing something. I think that it's, in my experience, God has always been the constant good in my life, and the constant hope.
Like I've said before, obviously that this hasn't been a fun experience for me so far, but there's a reason for it, and I know that in this, I'll have a story to share with people that may change their lives, bring them closer to God, or make them, believe in a way that they haven't believed before. And if that's, my story can help even just one person, then, when I have my baby and all of this is over, and I can say, look, this is what I've been through, but God gave me this baby, then it'll all definitely be worth it.
I think that is a huge part of it. Definitely that's part of what we're supposed to be doing, is telling people what God's done in our lives, and there are a lot of people out there that are going through similar things that we're going through, and you don't know that until you're kind of going through it, and then you get to talking to people, and you find out that it's not really a very uncommon thing. There's a lot of people that have a similar struggles as far as trying to have kids, and so I think that some of the biggest helps for us even have been other people that have already been through this and already have kids, and they've been able to tell us it works, and that just be patient, and so the fact that we can one day do that, and just not only that, but just being faithful in raising the kid that we have to be a good, godly person, to be the kind of person that God would want him to be. And so I think that's, we need, more people with good values and good, strong Christian character. And so I look forward to raising somebody with that.